Okay, recording this video on Wednesday, the 26th of October 2016, and it is 11:36 a.m. Chicago time. Done my trading for today. Hope you are too. And it was a beautiful move today, all sparked off of kind of good news, I suppose, for crude. And we had this little setup where we went for a nice runaway trending move. I want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, this setup was a picture-perfect kind of 5-step setup. But also want to talk about the importance of triples on charts and to show you how they kind of played out today. Anyway, the open of the day was here, and we had a pretty severe kind of sell-off during the overnight session, which ended after we had exhaustion sell patterns and bullish divergence patterns started to come in. So the 5-step setup goes like this. We've got to have our exhaustion and bullish divergence patterns to show that volume is exhausted. So we had that first. Then we need to run out price with pullback to end of trend, and because we've gone into a big trending move below support on the highest time frame, that needs to run out pullback to end of trend. There we go, pullback, end of trend, and that's the big sign there with the big red dot. Of course, it was all pullback to end of trends on the lowest time frames, then the intermediate time frames, that's this dot, that's that signal there to there, and then finally this highest time frame. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder, bang. So then we have the first sign of strength, which is this break with this red line showing us that we're breaking above resistance. And we have a picture-perfect little low-risk entry point right there, bang, and confirmation that this is a valid break into an uptrend happens when we break above resistance, and that was actually happening here, breaking again above resistance up here in 2130s in the lowest and intermediate time frames, and that's a confirmed break there. So it's a picture-perfect little 5-step setup going on there, and what you're trying to do is to trade between exhaustion sells and exhaustion buys. You're trying to pick off the meat of that move kind of going on there. But what was just lovely about today's activity was the importance of the triples kind of setting up. I always say when we have triples going on, all three time frames kind of lining up together, they end up being very strong signals if they hold or if they're broken. And so here's the first little triple as we're holding down here. So it's a pullback to end of trend on the highest time frame, support on the intermediate, support on the lowest time frame. A whole bunch of red going on kind of down here. So that's a triple supports all happening at the same time. And because that holds, because we've had exhaustion sells and bullish divergence, that's likely to hold, and we break into an uptrend. The next time we see a triple is here. So resistance on the intermediate and the lowest time frame all happening tight, close together. And then because we've had our exhaustion sells, everybody's sold over here, so they'll need to reverse positions, be taken out of positions as we're breaking into an uptrend. So a nice little triple break leads us to a trending move, which then runs out pullback end of trend on the lowest time frame, on the intermediate time frame, and eventually this thing will run out pullback to end of trend on the highest time frame, just like this did on the lowest time frame. But it was just picture perfect with that little triple kind of setting up here, and then another triple here. And you know this one needs to hold because we got our selling in the background, which says we'll likely break into an uptrend. And then the next time we see the resistance, we don't turn around here, we break through here, which means that's going to be a nice kind of strong move. And this blow-off activity was really quite nice. That was all driven out of crude. I must admit, while I was recording my videos on my trade, on the way up here, took me totally by surprise. We kind of blasted out of this little resistance here into this move, and I don't know what was driving it, but it turned out to be crude. All I'm looking at is two charts, my single time frames and multi time frames charts, not looking at anything else to kind of look at correlations or anything. So if I sound surprised on the video, that's what was going through my head. What the hell is going on here? But turns out it was crude. Anyway, so there we go. Triples, important little signals, kind of go with them. When they hold, they lead to big moves. When they break, they lead to big moves, and so on. Just really important. Anyway, I hope your trading's going well, and looking forward to tomorrow. Okay, just got long 27.75, long 27.75. Checking my stops and targets, and reason for going long, finally we've had ourselves a low risk entry point. So overnight quite a lot of weakness into the beginning of the day. We had a couple of numbers kind of come out, Finally, we had a little bit of strength, just a crack here of strength, but we had to put in our pullback 200 trend on the highest time frame. So we had them early, pullback 200 trend on the lowest time frame, intermediate time frame, another little one on the lowest time frame, and then finally pullback 200 trend on the highest time frame. We've also, here we go, that's nice. We've also had our exhaustion sell, bullish divergence kind of come in. There's the bullish divergence on the 1500. It's not exactly, that might signal bullish divergence, but that's okay. I'll come back. And then first sign of strength, low risk entry point. So we need a break back up above resistance. So 29.5 on the intermediate time frame would do the job. Give us confirmation that we're kind of breaking resistance lines on the way up. And we had blue professional bars kind of coming into, well, kind of dip here. We had a nice little U-turn kind of pattern here, but that was being led by the amateurs, so we've come back and just had some weakness after that. So we got to get above some resistance like 29.5 here to get us confirmation. Alright, this pushback has to hold, or else we'll kind of invalidate this low risk entry point. We should have got through 29s, would have been the real test, but it was a Rambo pattern, and that's why we've come the other side. But we knocked them out with another Rambo pattern, so it's Rambo to Rambo channel, and immediately the professionals came in on that dip, picked it up, and then, oh, that's interesting, another Rambo pattern, because we were pushing down there with an amateur bar, but so far we're holding, not got confirmation yet. We've not broken back up above the resistance after our low risk entry point, but we've got a double going on here, support, got that blue professional bar kind of sitting there. So alright, here we go, we've got a triple support come in, bang bang bang, all three time frames, all right close to each other, and blue professional bars taking to break the highs of that. They were kind of just gathering up and just getting this thing going. Of course, that gets broken, all of a sudden we got trouble on the downside. So triples lead to big moves. So blue professional up bar, yeah, as long as we keep on going through the highs of that, that'll show they were gobbling it up, kind of getting ready for the break. Anyway, so there it is. Well, it's been a few minutes, we're just coming up to 9:30 with petroleum numbers, and we kind of had gone nowhere. We didn't bust through here kind of decisively, so we've still got just this low risk entry point kind of hanging around. And yeah, we got bullish divergence, amateur down bar, but we have to bust through and get confirmation through a resistance and get this thing going. So I'm going to sit through this petroleum number release, and let's see. It could get a little bit jumpy, but what we need is through 29s. Alright, just moved my target out to 32.75, and number just came out and got that little burst of activity going. So all of a sudden we're now busting through resistance on the highest time frame, and we've got to go to an exhaustion buy. There's a Rambo pattern, but that's okay. We'll have a resistance kind of coming on 500. No blue professional bars taking profits at the high there, but that's jumping the creek, kind of getting this thing going. So all of a sudden now, still not confirmed, still not got that second break, but we should above 31. Alright, well that's interesting. We've got a triple resistance kind of come up, so 1, 2, 3 time frames go to this one there that just sat there. So bust above that, you know, triples, just like we had a triple here, it leads to big moves. If it holds, it'll be a big kind of support to resistance move. If we doesn't hold, it's a big trending move. So if this doesn't hold, bust through 31s, this will be a big trending move on the way up. We just had a little play off Rambo patterns, and no blue professional bars kind of kicked in yet on the retrace, but hopefully this is the beginning of something. Alright, movement target out to 34.75. We've finally got confirmation, having had that low risk entry point way back here. We got actually two breaks at the same time, so we got a confirmed uptrend, and this thing's taken off. And what I'm should be doing is holding to exhaustion buy. 6,000 is a decent reading. No blue fractional bars on the way up, no end of trend signals. So do I dare move it any further? 5,000, no blue fractional bars. Let's just wait and see. Yep, moved it out 35.75. We got blue professional bars on the way up, but I'm not sure whether that's the right thing to do, particularly on the 4,500. That's really important. But we still got to go pull back and a trend on 500. It's only 5,000 read here. But we did touch 34s. And so possibly as we go up there, and who knows resistance wise where that maybe. Yeah, kind of those areas were important. Alright, quite a lot of profit taking here. We kind of dipped down quite a bit, but we come into Rambo patterns. We've got to go back, make pullback and a trend at least on the lowest time frame, and an exhaustion pattern at some point. So just keeping the target where it is for the time being if we're lucky to get another burst. Bingo! Just taken out 35.75. Excellent. And what is that for 8? Awesome. I haven't had a trade like that in a while. And holy shit, what is going on? Unbelievable. What is that? Anyway, exhaustion buy, blue professional bars, pull back to end of trend. That's unbelievable. So yeah, when we get triple breaks, it ends up being a strong trending move. So the pullback end trend on the lowest time frame went in. It's an early signal. Then we're putting in pullback to end of trend on the highest time frame, and there's our exhaustion. And geez, another 2 or 3 points in it. But anyway, that's and a whole bunch of blue professional bars. Yeah, there we go. So that's that. I wonder what was going on there. Anyway, check my feeds. It's right on 10 a.m. So yeah, in at 27 3/4, out at 35 3/4. Excellent for 8.